Maddie, and today I want to talk to you about an issue that I think is seriously important and that needs to be talked about. Today I want to talk to you about bullying. I'm a grade 10 student and I've been bullied all my life. Well, I'm in a class where I get to go out twice a week and I get to work with young children in a classroom, and I work with grades 3 and 4. Well, today a little girl came in at recess, or right after recess, and she was crying as she sat down in her chair. I was concerned because that's just how I am. I get concerned about everybody when I see them being like crying or just upset or anything. So I pulled her out for a minute to talk to her because the main teacher wasn't back yet. She told me that while she was at the water fountain, two boys decided to start pushing her around, and they stepped on her feet and they were saying things to her and they wouldn't let her have a drink of water. So she came back to class. Well, later on, the students went to their music class and a little boy decided to sit there from her class, decided to sit there and say that she was a crybaby and all this other stuff to her. So she started crying again. When she first told me about the incident at the water fountain, whatever, she told me that she was scared to tell her own teacher. So that kind of says a lot, because she was scared that the boys wouldn't stop and that it would just get worse if she told on them. To me, that's something that's terrible. I think that if you go to report a bullying incident, that something should be done, and if it happens again, that the kid should be suspended or have to miss a few recesses or something. A kid should never be scared to sit there and say, "Look, I'm being bullied, can you help me?" That shouldn't have to happen, but it does. I've only worked in that class a few times, but out of the times that I've worked there, there's only been one day that I haven't had to write up a report about someone being picked on. And that was my first day. So that's really disappointing to me. And these kids are just young and they know words like whore, slut, bitch, everything. Everything that I didn't even know about until I was grade 7, grade 8, around there. And to me that's terrible. Because they're little kids, they shouldn't have to know that. They should be able to sit there and make sandcastles or play tag or whatever, not pick on other kids. Like, yes, I know bullying happens from the time you're little because you don't want to share your toy, or you get mad because your friend goes and hangs out with someone else, so then you try and get her back by starting things between the other friend. I know what that's like because I went through it. Almost every single kid has bullied someone, either by saying something about them, starting rumors about them, or, physically pushing them around. Anything. And it's got to stop. There's kids who kill themselves because they get bullied. There's kids who go and slice up their wrists because they get bullied. And it's not a good thing, and it needs to be dealt with. And people say, "Oh, there's a non-bullying policy at our school." I don't believe that, because I see it happening in the halls. I see it happening out on the playground at the school that I work at. I see it happening at the mall. I see it everywhere. And you know what? The school board doesn't do anything about it. The school board just sits there and says, "Okay, yeah, whatever, don't do it again," slap on the wrist, "Okay, you can go now." And that's not fair. The most I've seen was a suspension because someone got into a physical fight. And for bullying to go that far that someone has to throw a punch, that's just terrible. Something should be done in the earlier stages of it. Another thing that I want to talk about is suicide. And suicide to me is something that is even worse than bullying. Well, of course it is. Someone's taking their own life. But bullying can sometimes cause it. When I was 7 years old, I was bullied all the time to the point where I didn't want to be around anymore. My mom walked into my room and I was strangling myself and I was almost dead. Like, I remember that day so well. I could barely remember anything and everything was just slipping away from me. I'm happy that my mom walked in because there was a lot more for me. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for my mom walking in. And I want to say to anybody who's ever thought about killing themselves not to do it, because it's not worth it. You have so much more to live for. You might not think it because you're going through whatever. Like, you could be getting picked on, you could have someone who just passed away in your family that meant a lot to you. You know, your parents could be getting a divorce. There could be so much going on with you that you just don't know how to handle it. But suicide is not the way. Talk to someone, write a poem, you know, go boxing, go play soccer, go do something to get that negative thought out of your head. Talk to someone. That's honestly the best thing that I could tell you, is tell someone how you're feeling, you know, so you could get the help that you need. Like, if you need to go see a counselor, you can get that help by saying, look, I want to kill myself right now. And I know it sounds silly as I'm saying it, but honestly, I want to kill myself right now, so can you help me? Like, what do I do? Not to kill yourself, but to get out of it. Because no one should have to feel like they need to commit suicide because they're going through so much in their life. Along with suicide, I want to talk about self-harm. Cutting, burning your hands, you know, doing anything to physically harm yourself, taking pills, overdosing, going out and getting drunk. You know, yes, I know teenagers think it's so fun to go out and drink and everything, and drinking can cause bullying. Like, if you're drinking because you've been bullied and you just want to forget about everything, or you're drinking because you think it's cool and stuff, because if you're not that kid that's drinking, you're going to get picked on. You're not doing it for the right reasons. You should be doing it because you want to go out and have fun with your friends, or you're of legal age. I'm not supporting underage drinking here at all, even though it kind of sounds like I am, but seriously. And the drug thing, do it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. I know a lot of people have probably watched videos like this where people sit there and talk about bullying and self-harm and suicide and everything else and think, oh yeah, well, whatever. No, it's not whatever. It's a serious thing. People are dying because of it. Like, people are killing themselves because of it. How does that make you as a person feel to know that maybe one of your best friends is being bullied and you don't know about it, and they're going home and slicing their wrists up tonight because they're all upset about it, and then tomorrow when they come to school, you know, they've got slashes from here to here or something like that. It needs to be spoken. And if you hear that somebody's cutting, or you hear that someone's being bullied, stand up for them. Go to the teachers, go to whatever, and say, look, this is what is happening. I know that you might think, oh, but then I'll be a snitch. No, you're helping the person that's being bullied. You know, I used to think, oh yeah, you know, I can't tell on them because then I'm going to be the one that's getting picked on and stuff. No. Doesn't matter if you're going to get picked on for it. What matters is that you're getting your friend out of the situation. Because what if your friend went home tonight because he or she is getting bullied and decided to kill themselves? You'd be down a friend, plus you'd feel devastated that you didn't say something. As for those of you who have ever thought about bullying people, I know that sometimes it may be hard, and I know that I do it too. Because sometimes I'll see some girl walking by or whatever, and she'll be dressed kind of permissively, and I'll be like, whore, or whatever. And I don't even think about it. I just do it sometimes. But I regret myself, or I regret it later, and I kick myself for it. So think before you speak, and think about, okay, maybe that person's going through a lot in their life right now. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Anyways, that was my talk about bullying. And it's still recording. Is it?